Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we are back with another video. Now, in this video guys, we're gonna talk about Fat Joe getting hit with a lawsuit by his nemesis. This man is a nemesis. He has been a thorn in Fat Joe's skin for the past couple of years. He has been hitting Fat Joe with numerous allegations, and every time he files a lawsuit against Fat Joe, it hasn't been working out in his favor. So I believe what Mr. Dixon is doing this time around, he's using something that may or may not have happened to, cause some kind of irreparable damage to Fat Joe's image and reputation. Because in case you guys haven't seen the video that I did, it was back in April, I believe. He did a video wherein I spoke about him saying that Fat Joe had promised him, a good life if he should come work for him, Fat Joe. And he said that Fat Joe, while he was working there, things were good at first, but things changed. He basically said that Fat Joe did not pay him for a lot of his time and a lot of false allegations. And you can imagine Tyrone Blackburn is behind these lawsuits as per usual. And then Fat Joe fired back with a defamation claim. Now, he is not stopping. And when I tell you that this man has been hitting Fat Joe with lawsuits for about the past 3 to 5 years, it's about that at this point. He has been making posts consistently accusing Fat Joe of doing a lot of things, and those things, they just don't get anywhere because oftentimes he even is caught in his own lies. Now, this time around, he's basically saying that he witnessed a crime being committed. And I don't know if many people don't realize that this is what this man is saying. He's saying that he witnessed acts of crime being carried out against a minor, and he's telling the world that he witnessed this repeatedly, and it was years ago, but he didn't do anything about it. But now he wants to sue after he witnessed a crime being committed against a minor and not do anything about it. I think people like these deserve to be behind bars, because how do you not protect a minor if you see someone like Fat Joe taking disadvantage of a child? That is what is screaming at me in this lawsuit that he's coming out with. I'm gonna tag the previous video that I did so that you all can watch the previous video. It even includes Sam Monroe. Sam Monroe is very familiar with this guy because oftentimes when he calls out Fat Joe, Sam Monroe would be, reposting his allegations and, basically saying what else is new, because I think at one point Storm got so this man is coming with another claim against Fat Joe again, so here's another claim from Mr. Terrence Dixon. I don't know when he's gonna stop, but isn't this too much at this point? But let's get into it, right? Now, as I've said, Fat Joe's attorney is Joe Tacopina. And we know Joe Tacopina doesn't play. Now, so what had happened is that this gentleman by the name of Terrence Dixon, he has filed a lawsuit on Thursday where he claimed that there were at least 2 minor females Fat Joe had intimacy with, and another he allegedly fell in love with. Now, in his lawsuit, he basically claims that a 16-year-old Dominican girl would perform oral sex and other sex acts on Joe in exchange for cash, clothing, and cell phone bill payments. I don't know how did he witness all of these things and not alert the police. How do you witness a little girl getting, manipulated and not do anything, and it took place so long. Now, let's continue, guys. He's saying Dixon claims Joe started a um, sexual relationship with a 15-year-old Caucasian girl after meeting at an overseas concert. He says Joe flew her to New York and Miami multiple times and paid for her to get a BBL because her body was um, adolescent and not fully formed. Dixon claims the girl is now married to a pro athlete. Now they're saying in the suit, Dixon claims Fat Joe was in love with a Latina he met when she was 15 years old. He says Joe paid all the girls' bills, took her overseas for tours, put her up in a condo near where he lived with his wife in Florida, and contemplated leaving his wife for her. Dixon says Joe has an unhealthy, troubling fixation on underage individuals and raps about it in She's My Mama. Joe's ex-hypeman also says Fat Joe coerced him into having sex with women after concerts, sometime in full view of other people, and says Joe underpaid him, denied him songwriting credits, and concealed royalties and back-end payments. So these are some of his previous claims that he's also bringing over into this lawsuit. He did it before, he lost. He consistently loses when he accuses Fat Joe of these things. So the only thing that is new in this lawsuit is the fact that he is using some of the allegations that he realizes, those allegations are working out for people. Like, he's saying that Joe forced him to have sex, in public view, and he's accusing Fat Joe of having sex with minors. No, he's saying that, Fat Joe coerced him into having sex with other women after concerts, sometimes in full view of others, and says Joe underpaid him, denied him songwriting credits, and concealed royalties and back-end payments. Now, Fat Joe's attorney, Joe Tacopina, tells TMZ the lawsuit is a blatant act of retaliation for a civil suit Joe filed against Dixon because after he came with those claims, Fat Joe sued him back in April for defamation after he made similar pedophile allegations against Fat Joe on social media. There was an entire post where he did it in. So Joe Tacopina is saying these are all lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure. And he claims law enforcement is aware of what he says are extortionate demands from Dixon. That's true because they even filed a report because Dixon was doing a lot, and a lot of his allegations that he brought against Fat Joe did not make sense. No, I'm going to say that there was a culture. Well, let me not use the word culture because culture is like a acceptable practice. So let's say there's this thing, and it happens a lot, and I'm aware that it happens because it is something that a lot of these entertainers, they did in the days. They even have songs about it for real, like, she's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they say, and they would sing about wanting to make love to this 16-year-old girl, and, I'll take, and they'll do this, and I'll show you love like you've never seen. And at that point in time, like it was back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a strong presence of entertainers singing about having intimacy or wanting to have intimacy with younger girls. Now, with Fat Joe, what raises the question of the validation of Dixon's claims is the fact that a lot of his allegations, while they're not far-fetched, it's not connecting because, like, how did he take her from one country? Did he take her out of school? How did she live in another country as an underage girl, you know? Because there would have to be like some kind of parent signature involved. So how involved was the parent? And for them to get like the plastic surgery, there would have to be an adult that signed off, unless there was some kind of forged document saying that the person is older than how they actually were. So I would have to say a lot of things about Dixon. Dixon has a history of being a notorious liar, but I want to say that a part of me believes that his allegation could be half true in terms of the younger girls, because when I say it could be half true, it is because of a connection that I'm aware of that happens in the entertainment industry. But why I'm questioning the validity of this particular allegation is because there's some things in it that they're just not connecting. Like, how did he take one girl from one country to the next without parental consent, having her living down the road, wanting her to get plastic surgery? Like, the parent would have to sign off on it. Also, my second thing is this. Why was Dixon witnessing these crimes for so many years and not make a report about it? Like, why would you sue someone for this? You should be reporting them to the police. Like, how does this benefit you to sue someone because of something they did to a child? Like, what is the child's connection to you? It should be you, Dixon, who is getting sued for watching these kids being taken disadvantage of, and you not alerting the police or cutting ties with Fat Joe even because of these things. Because when he got dropped from the industry, it wasn't because of any of these things. It was because of what him Dixon was doing and the things that him Dixon got involved in. And Fat Joe was like, I can't have you in my circle because you're way off. You're on, I think he was on substance, allegedly. Don't quote me on that. Allegedly. And he got involved with some wrong people, and it was causing like a mess. And Fat Joe had to cut him off. So Dixon is the only one that I'm questioning here, because he has been coming at this man for so many years. It's given obsession, and he consistently shifts his claims and allegations around Fat Joe. And it's questionable because why would you sit and witness a crime being committed against minors, but you're just talking about it? Like, why didn't you talk to your friend Fat Joe and saying, she's just 16 years old, leave her alone. She's just 15. You should not be having any inappropriate contact with minors. And if you continue to do so, I'm going to alert the police. Why didn't you do stuff like that? So it is very questionable as to why it is that he's just coming out with these things. Why are you suing and including these things in the lawsuit when you are also an accessory to crime? You are a part of a pedophile ring. And I'm wondering if he's aware that he's telling the public and he's telling the world that he's a part of a pedophile ring that he's accusing Fat Joe of. It's not making any sense. And for me, if it's not consistent, it means that you're lying, because his claims are not consistent. They haven't been consistent. And as such, I believe he's telling a lie. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what's your 2 cents on the matter. While you're at it, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Do all you need to do on this video to support your girl. Peace.